What is going, guys? It's Sam Briscoe here, back with another video, and today we are going to be doing the Arizona Cardinals. We are not going to be going off the draft. We are going to be going back to 2022, seeing what they should have done that season, and we're not going to be doing like the draft class just because I don't really think it's fair, just because, hey, you might get like in that draft class a lot better player than it should be, so we will just be doing an auto-generated class. And for the people that have already been watching these videos, you're probably wondering about the Texas rebuild. And if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. There's 2 episodes, but we are going to be trashing that series for now. We might go back to it, but for right now, we put it in the dumpster. But let's get right into today's video with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, we all know that Kyle Murray was, a big part of this roster, and he's a good QB. But the problem is he's getting injured too frequently, and a 79 overall is not like a good overall anymore. It's not. He's 25. He's still young, which is a good thing, but injury is a problem, and we're going to keep him for this rebuild. He's a good quarterback, but right away we are going to have to do a rebuild this year. Just going up based off our players, Connor, we'll maybe try to keep him, but let's just look at the contract we have for him. And we got 3 years on him, so we'll probably just keep that contract for those 3 years unless we find another running back that we think. Now, we have, I think this is Marquise Brown. Yeah, Marquise Brown, young, good player. Definitely a guy we want to try to keep on this roster. He has 2 years left, so I'm guessing they probably franchise tagged him. Or I don't even know if he was a Cardinal. I don't really know too much about, the Cardinals overall. Now, we got Robbie Anderson. I know he's on his last contract here, I'm pretty sure. But honestly, he's probably not going to, stick around here after that. And then we have Moore. Now, Moore is 1 year in this league, a really good player. Injury's a little bit of a problem, but with the +4, he should go up to 88. So that is good enough for us. And yes, we still have 3 years on him, and he has interest in staying here. Now, offensive line-wise, and DeAndre Hopkins, I love DeAndre Hopkins. He's such a good wide receiver, but we are going to be looking at trading him. He has 3 years left with this team, but his contract is too much money, and with his age, he's going to start regressing pretty soon, and we're not going to be, I'm sure we could be competitive in that time scheme, but we have to trade our center. This guy's too old, so we'll find a team that needs a center. So right away, here's our 2 guys we're going to be trading. Hopkins and Hudson, and then probably just this whole offensive line is old, which is the problem. But we're going to keep all the rest of these guys. Now, Humphreys, we will probably just keep Humphreys too. Any guy that's on this offensive line we'll just keep that is young. I'm hoping Hernandez is young. He looks young. He's 4 years in this league. I'm guessing maybe, I don't think he was a first-round contract, so I'm guessing they just re-signed him to a contract. And no, he has 1 year left in this league, but we'll probably try to re-sign him if we can. And then going into our right tackle, I don't even know how to say this name. Kelvin Bockham, 10 years in the league. This guy's about to retire, so we're screwed for our offensive line. Right away, we're screwed. Now let's look at Ertz just to see how old he is. And Zach Ertz is on the edge. Oh my god. Yeah, this team is all old. So in the future, this team is going to suck. Now, defensively, we're going to have to trade J.J. Watt. I know a lot of people, J.J. Watt's about to be on his last year, but we'll find a team that he deserves to go to for his last probably season in the league, unless he wants to pull out one more. But then on our other side, we got Zach Allen, very good player, and we'll probably try looking at keeping him. And then going back to our defense, let's see. We got Wilson. I think Wilson's probably a young player to have. Yeah, so he's 1 year. This guy will be a good player for us, and I'm happy to have him. And then finally, for our last corner, I like Byron Murphy Jr. I'm a Vikings fan, so this guy just went to the Minnesota Vikings, but we'll probably try to keep him on this team just because he's such a good player already, and has a good entry rate, has good speed, and has good coverage, and is about to be one of the top 32 corners in the league. So overall, we need to try to keep him on this roster. But I get it because they let him go, because I'm sure he knows what's about to happen to the team. Now, Isaiah Simmons, I love this guy, but we're going to move him back into right outside linebacker. And I noticed a lot of times in this game, because they have 2 really high safeties. And this guy's just going to go back here. He's going to dominate our right outside linebacker. I love this pick, and we have to keep him. Now, Zach Collins, I know he's about the same age. Yeah, he's young, and this guy is a phenomenal player to have too. And then going back at our last 2 guys, we have Budda Baker. Good player, 5 years in the league. Maybe might look at trading him just because I don't think we're going to be dominant enough by the time. And then to our last player, Thompson. I do not know how old Thompson is, and he's young too, but about to be on a contract here, so we'll try picking him up too. So let's start our trading. And actually, let's look at our special teams real fast. So we got these two guys, and probably look at trying to get rid of them in the future. But let's, yeah, what I said before, get right into trading and have just a shitty year. That's all we want to try to do this year. So first player up on my list, DeAndre Hopkins. Now I am going to be realistic with this. I'm not going to be like, okay, this team doesn't need a wide receiver. We are going to find a team that, hey, they're competitive and maybe needs one more. And I think the perfect team would be the Buffalo Bills. You know, they're a team that maybe if they found one more weapon, they could be really competitive. And I think exactly comparing DeAndre Hopkins next to Diggs would be the perfect combo for this team to get a Super Bowl. I think they would easily do this trade, and it's almost right there, so we'll just try to finish this off. Maybe, you know, I want to try to keep all the draft picks I can, so maybe we'll find just a player that, this guy looks like he probably can go, and we'll see if we can trade him. Need a little bit more, so we'll put this, no, we don't want to put him up. This guy, we'll trade you, and let's put DeAndre Hopkins back in to see if we can get this going. So we got that done. So one trade out of our way. DeAndre Hopkins is off the team. And then going into our next kind of pick, we're going to look at... We're going to just keep our wide receivers. Robbie Anderson can stay, and Marquise Brown can stay. Zach Ertz, I do want to try to trade him to a team. If there is a team that wants him. Vikings do want him, but I don't think the Vikings are a realistic team. Just because, hey, they already have Hawkinson. I'm trying to find a... Okay, Titans... I meant Saints really want him. Now, Saints... I'm surprised the Saints... Yeah, I'll trade him to the Saints. He still has a good few years. We'll just try to get a second and third for him. And let's see if we can just get a second. I know that might be just kind of giving it to them in that scenario, but honestly, we don't really need to fight anything here. Okay, let's just find a team that really needs a center. Seahawks, I think, would take this trade realistically, but we're not going to do it just because I don't think it would be the best trade to do. And let's see. I think everyone really has a pretty good enough center. I'll actually do the Browns because the Browns do need a center, and I have seen the Browns win a Super Bowl in a franchise simulation. So a second, and a fourth. Easily a trade I wanted to do, and we get 2 seconds. I wish we got a little bit more, and I'm sure we maybe kind of got robbed there. But honestly, it's good enough for us, and we'll see what just kind of the type of year we have. So our next pickup, J.J. Watt. I think we'll look at Budda Baker to see, but we'll see if Buccaneers actually want J.J. Watt. So let's see who they have for their left end and see if they would actually love to have him for this year. Yeah, exactly the player. First and second to see if we can do this. We'll just try to get a first. And we got it. I'm surprised we actually got a first for that. And then Budda Baker is our last kind of pick we need. So let's look for a team that needs a safety. And I'm definitely... Actually, I guess the Bucks would take a safety pick here. But we already took their first. So I do not want to try to do anything else. Bengals? Let's see what the Bengals safety is. Yeah, the Bengals would easily do this trade to get a better safety on their team. And honestly, it would make them probably Super Bowl contenders. So we got all of our trades done, and let's just sim to the start of the season. Just to kind of, what is it? Just to kind of choose our weekly goals and see which guys are going to be in our draft class. Then we'll sim to about mid-season to get week 11 to choose out which guys we want to draft. So we are predicting a 4-win season. I think I do believe we're going to have a better season than a 4-win season. But honestly, I just don't want to get fired in this franchise. So honestly, a wide receiver pick would be really nice to have just to get one more guy. But right away, simming to week 8. I wish you could just sim to week 11. Like if there was a certain weak point you could. But they don't have it in the game like that. So we just got to sim this way. I am going to say, like, for I'm sure everyone that's watching this video knows the NFL pretty good, or if you're just learning, but the Arizona Cardinals are not going to have a good season next year just because, like, I never really, like, I kind of saw all these predictions, like, Cardinals are going to suck, and I kind of believe that just because I think Kyle Murray is not going to be starting next season, and, like, I think he might come back maybe midway, but I just don't think they're going to be good enough for it. Oh my god, we went 41-2 against the Vikings. Oh my god. Okay, so we got an injury, breakout QB, and this is, we'll see if he can do it this game. Kyle Murray would go to an X Factor, which would be really good for us, so I'm guessing he's having a good season at least. Now let's just kind of see this injury real fast, but we're 4-5, so honestly, a better season than I thought it would be, but it's just because we still have a pretty decent offense with our line. I'm sure our offense is going crazy right now, and I'm sure our defense is going shitty. So we have the 9th best offense, and we have the 28th best defense. So kind of what I expected. And let's see what we performed that game if you went up. It looks like, yeah, he didn't get it, but it's fine in my opinion. He did not need to go up, and we're going to choose our focus players. I know wide receiver is not really a big thing, but maybe we take this guy based on how he looks. Has good route running. So, what is it? James Baker. Hold on, 21 years old. Yeah, we're definitely going to look at him being a player on this roster. So next up, pick QB. Maybe, like, I think we got to stay with Kyle Murray, though. In my opinion, we have to stay there. Okay, and then just kind of, I want to find one last good guy. So I think, well, we actually need 2 more good players. But I'm trying to find a guy that just kind of stands out to me that can be really good. And I am looking for a guy that, has good enough injury rate, because that's the thing in this game is, I know, like, I'm sure you're, like, a lot of other players playing this game, like, they see an injury rate and they're like, it doesn't really matter. But for me, injury matters a lot just because I'd rather take a guy that's going to play all, 16 games in a season than, just play a few. And Alex Smithson, I actually thought he looked amazing. So we're going to choose, I think it was this guy, Chuck Lambert we were looking at, and then we're going to look at the wide receivers. So we're looking at 2 wide receivers and our outside linebacker, which we will move to right end, or actually probably left end. And let's just see kind of which contracts we have to pick up before the end of the season. So Byron Murphy, we're going to, we'll give him this contract. We'll see if we can bug it down just by $2 million, which is just about $1 million overall for those contracts, but we need that money. Okay, we'll go one more week and then kind of try to pick him up. Kicker, pass. Zach Allen's leaving, but that's quite a bit of money, so we're probably going to let Zach Allen walk. Damn, we're losing a lot of players. Here, we're going to go one more season, then we're going to try to get Byron Murphy again. That's a player I need to try to get before the end of the season. I can't just let him walk. Breakout linebacker, I'm guessing this is probably Simpson. Yeah. Isaiah Simmons, he looks amazing in this. He's really fast, and for a linebacker, he's deadly. And I know when they drafted him, he was a linebacker, and then I think they switched him to, we're just bumping the money back up. And he takes it. It's good enough for me. He's a good corner. I'm happy to have him. But yeah, I think when they first drafted Isaiah Simmons, he was just, he was already a linebacker. I think over time they just kind of switched him over. Hernandez, the problem is all these guys, there's some good guys on here, but they just don't want to sign. But yeah, going back to what I said, they're, when they first took him, I'm pretty sure he was a linebacker, and then I think they just switched him over to safety, which I don't know why. Maybe they thought he'd have more success, but in my opinion, they should have just kept him as a linebacker. Okay, not really any players I see that it's worth signing by the end. And yeah, we're just going to sim to the end of the season and call it good. So we're going to sim to the off season. I'm sure no players are going to have, like, I'm sure we're not going to make the playoffs our first season. And I really hope we don't, because if we do, we're going to have a draft pick I don't want to have. But we have a lot of draft picks, which is the good thing. Our main draft focus should be trying to maybe pick up a few linemen. And honestly, we just need to take... I think we need to find a good tackles for this team, just because Kyle Murray, like, he has the speed to scramble out, but we do need tackles to protect our edges. So at the end of the season, we went 7-10. Good enough year for us. So we're just going to upgrade our players that we, I just want to make sure they're kind of going the right spot, just because if you do a self-upgrade, they'll just go into the best position that's at that point. And we only need to upgrade a few. So Kyle Murray got 2 this season, and improviser is kind of what we're going for him as a quarterback. 80 overall, we'll go to 81. We do need to try to get his speed up on this team. I think he already has probably a really fast speed. And for, let's see, 91 speed, 95 acceleration. The problem is he's 5'10", which is, still a good enough height, but he definitely needs to try to get taller. Isaiah Simmons is about to go up to an 80 overall, and he's going to be a huge factor for us in the future. And the thing about him is just his speed is just incredible. 93 speed for a linebacker, 92 acceleration. That guy is just going to be a huge factor for us for the rest of the season. A middle linebacker is going to go up to a, probably, should I upgrade the field general too much? But that's good enough for us. He's going to be a huge factor for this team too. Everyone else, Byron Murphy, I'll upgrade, and that'll probably be it. Everyone else can do a self-upgrade. And yeah, we're going to call that good. Finish the upgrades. And let's kind of look at our season real fast before we end it off. So Kyle Murray has a decent season. Not incredible, but good enough where we're not disappointed. We had the 32nd best worst defense. He almost broke 1,000 yards for rushing. 1,000. Let's just see our offense ranking real fast for team stats. Okay, it doesn't show what place we had, but I'm guessing it was not that incredible. Receiving wise, Rondell Moore had a pretty decent season. Do need to kind of get him better. Blocking, I'm sure there was quite a bit of sacks, 11 by Humphreys. And Zach Collins had two sacks, 1 pick, but Isaiah Simmons had an incredible year with a 10-sack season. Byron Murphy didn't really do anything. Ben Nealman did decent. And kind of just a few picks. Josh Jackson. Zach Allen had a 5-sack season, which is okay. And then during the rest, kind of just all decent little things. So let's kind of just get to the point where we're about to get into our draft. And real fast, I just want to make sure we don't have to re-sign any players that I'm missing. So let's just scroll this real fast. Yeah, okay, that's good enough for me. We're not going to resign any of these players, and we're just going to go into the free agency. So we were an 88 and 77 overall ranked, 88 offense, and it goes down to a 79 offense, 77 defense. So we only lost 1 overall. So Miles Sanders, I want to offer him a contract to be a running back on our team for just 1 year if he'll sign it. I don't know if he'll take it, but I'd be happy to have him. We're in the hunt. Tom Brady, no. Michael Thomas would be a really good guy to have on our team, but we're actually going to pass him because we were looking at a lot of wide receivers. Juju, Odell. So let's look back at our picks. Don't need a safety. Well, we do, but we'll probably try draft. Corner, I think I would love to sign James Murray, but I think we're going to pass on him. I think we're pretty good on most of our picks. We're definitely good at our linebackers picks, and we don't really need any future linebackers. I would love to get... actually, we'll try signing Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks will be a perfect guy to get, and we're probably just going to move him to a defensive tackle, honestly. Just because these guys are probably not going to be anything incredible. And then... yeah, when you look at offensive line, man, Beluga, we're going to try to offer him a contract. Not really much interest, but no one's really going to offer him another contract for him to sign anywhere. Center, any good picks? Not really. We'll probably just try to sign Nick Harris. He's young, good enough to be on our team. We'll do a 1 year on him just to get him on this roster. One last pick for today and pass on these guys. And for this end, not really any good picks I'm like loving. Tight end, let's see if there's any guy. Austin Hooper wants to be guy. Irv Smith, I would love to get him, but I don't think he's going to want to sign with us. Fullback, we're going to pass on that position. Probably just look at kicker now. And we got Bass, which we're just going to offer him a contract just because Bass is a really good kicker just because his kick power. We'll offer him that contract and just kind of see which guys we get. We're not really going to offer a bunch of contracts out just because I'm really hoping we have a good draft. And I hate when you kind of like, I'm not sure any people that have played franchise have, picked up a lot of free agent guys and then all of a sudden looked at the roster and be like, yeah, I had a good draft, and then you got to either cut them or trade them, and then you don't really want to do that. So we signed Nick Harris right away. Akeem Hicks is on our roster, and we'll just switch him to a defensive tackle just because he honestly will be a better defensive tackle than a right end or a left end, whatever position he's in right now. And he's going to go up to a 79 just because I've done this in other franchises before. And where is he? Actually goes up to an 80, so he's going to be an incredible defensive tackle for us this season. Bass signed for us for 7 years, and we got Miles Sanders for a year. Beluga's the only guy kind of waiting left, and he'll take it after this year. And honestly, we're just going to kind of sim through. Fifth-year option. I don't know. I'm guessing this is probably for Kyle Murray, but we're just going to skip it real fast just because, honestly, I know in the game you want to, sign 5th years just to save money, but I'd rather just kind of sign his contract sooner just to have him if we do want to take him as our quarterback. So right away, we're going to offer our wide receiver, our pick, and then who else do we have on this team that we want to try to get? The right outside linebacker, and then we have the last wide receiver. And yeah, offer those 3, and we're just going to go into our draft day. So we're starting to draft off, and let's see what pick we have. I'm guessing we're going to have a late pick. So we're picking at number 9. Pause the draft just because I kind of want some extra time. So right away, he's a top 5 wide receiver in this league. Definitely a good player to have. The only problem is I see a lot of C's, and I'm guessing he would be a good player. Maybe we'll try to take him there, but let's kind of look up what other players we're looking at. So our right end, 14th overall pick. Good guy, 21 years old, pretty well rated in the draft, and I think he'd be worth trying to take for an edge rusher. Now he's going to go at number 14. We'll probably try to pick him up number 9 if we can, but I'm guessing he might go earlier than that, which kind of sucks. But in this guy, the other wide receiver I saw, this guy was the one pick I thought looked incredible, and he is. Injury. So we're probably just going to skip over and just try to pick at number 9. So let's see what picks go. Bears take a right end. Texans are going to take that wide receiver. No, they pass on him. So if he gets to number 5, we'll probably trade for him. Honestly, we have to trade with the Jags. Okay, so like looking at this team, I'm trying to think what we can give to try to get up to this pick. I think I might try to offer Marquise Brown to this team, but he's going to cost too much. We need to try to get a player, but honestly, maybe we'll try to skip the Jaguars pick and just kind of move up a little more forward. They might pass on them again. This is a risk. The Lions on the clock now. We're going to try to get this pick just because I think the Lions probably would want a wide receiver. I'm surprised he's fallen this much already. They already have a pretty good wide receiver roster, though. That's the thing. They have money to spare, and Marquise Brown, I think, they would like him. I don't know. I don't know how much Marquise Brown is going to be worth, though. We'll try to get a second round, too, for him. Ooh, this might be just a hard trade in general. I think we're at the 6th pick. We're just going to keep going. Yeah, and he goes off the board right when we were right there, but I think it was, we couldn't really do anything, and we're about to just kind of take the guy. We're probably going to take. I think we do need to trade up in the draft to probably number 10, just because he is about to. Actually, did they take him off? No, they haven't taken him off the board, but I think they're about to, and we'll probably take this wide receiver first. I know, like, probably they're like, he's a first to second round pick, but I know, like, if someone else scouted him, they're going to want him. So this guy's very talented, and he's going to be a weapon for us. So let's try to trade with the Eagles. I think the Eagles would be the best, to try to trade up. And we'll get an edge rusher that we actually like and we know will be talented for us. So let's go to the Eagles, and we will be trading one of our probably one of our wide receivers pick. I don't know if we'll trade Marquise Brown. I think that was the wide receiver we were trying to trade. Right? Yeah, Marquise Brown. I think we might keep him just because I think we can get by without getting rid of him. But we will be getting rid of Robbie Anderson. He's probably going to go off a roster. So we're just going to be trading draft picks just because. We actually got Beluga too. I didn't know that. So, yeah, just draft picks are going to be traded now. So we're going to offer a 32nd. And then I'm guessing we're just going to offer another 30th and hope this goes. Almost there. And then we're going to have to offer something kind of smaller. 5th round, I'm hoping that just gets it done. No, we're going to have to offer a 4th. So we're giving quite a bit up for this pick. But I think that guy. Actually, we'll do a later 4th. That was too early of a 4th. 117, hoping this just gets it done. And no. Jeez, the Eagles are fighting us for this pick. They want as much value as they can. And, oh my god, they are fighting us. 73 is just too early. I have to get some value in that. We'll try to get up a 7th round pick, too. I think that's barely. Even though I didn't really want to give up that much for that, I want this route as a linebacker. I like him. I think he looks incredible for a player. And I know a lot of people are maybe going to be like, that was a little too much to give when we needed to take, offensive linemen in this draft. But I think we'll be good enough on offense either way. And we might be able to trade up for, in the draft to try to pick up an offensive lineman that would be good enough to play for us. But definitely we're going to take this route as a linebacker, switch him to a right end because we lost too much. We lost too much players during this draft. Is this not the guy? Where is that guy that we want to take? Okay, he's right there. But honestly, this guy would probably gone off pretty, soon on the board. And, he's 21 years old, Iowa guy, 6'5", 259. Has a lot of good traits already. And, did pretty decent in the draft overall. And honestly, I'm guessing he's not going to be an X-Factor player. I'm putting a lot of bets on it that he'll just be a common, but he's a first-round player. And, yeah, so he doesn't have an X-Factor. Or I meant, a trait, but I think he's going to be a good pick for us. I'm happy we took him, and I know he will play the spot pretty decent this first season. Back on the clock. Pick number 28. We definitely need to either take a tight end right here if this guy's good. Clinton. Good route runner, good player, 21 years old, 6'6". Pretty well, decently drafted. We'll see if there's a better tight end on the board we could take. Or let's kind of look at our picks first. Maybe we want to take another corner to put next to Byron Murphy to kind of help him, coverage. And I think maybe would be a pick. We do not need to take any. Actually, this guy might be really good. The problem is I see C for coverage. I think this guy would be good, but I just have a feeling he might be. But 6'3" for a corner would be a really good take. Let's look at this guy real fast, too. I want to check out this safety. I know I'm checking on a lot of players, just because I didn't really do, like, I know a lot of people that play this game, they kind of do it like a pre-draft, kind of look at what guys are on the board, what guys they can take, and I didn't do any of that. And this corner, Richardson, decently enough, but we're not going to take him. And then we're just going to look at this left outside linebacker, maybe move him to a left end if he's good enough. Elite speed, I really like that, but CTF injury and CTF stamina will not take him. So let's just look at tight ends to see what other guys on the board. Maybe Sherman. We're just going to look at the top 5, just see which guys maybe would be good enough to take. The problem is I think that one guy that we looked at would be like a stud to put on our team this first year. This guy actually looks pretty damn good. But CTF injury, I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, I know a CTF injury is not a big thing just because you can get a C player, but honestly, in my opinion, I'd rather just, like I've already said before, I'd rather have a guy playing most of his games than, have to take out a few. I think we're going to take probably Danny Clinton. I like Danny Clinton. He's 6'6". Overall, just kind of good and greats on the board, which is a nice thing to see. Was one of the fastest wide receivers in the tight ends in the combine. Good enough injury and has medium like AAs. Danny Clinton, welcome to the team. Normal depth trait, which is a bad thing to see. And we're going to trade up with the Dolphins. We're just going to trade up to this pick. Dolphins, where are you? We went the wrong way. And we're going to take that corner just because, honestly, we do not have any corners to put on our team this year. 29th pick. And let's look at our corners. We have Wilson, but we need one more guy just to kind of be a stud there. So we're going to throw up this pick and just kind of see how much more we would need. I'm guessing like a third. We don't have that, so a fourth. And then probably a fifth. Maybe that's a little too much, but I'll take it. So that's our second trade of this. And let's see what we can do. I think this guy looks incredible. Goodrich. And what I like him most is he has elite speed, which makes him a deadly player already. And the other thing I like is he's 6'3". A normal... Oh my god, we're getting a lot of normal. That's really kind of hurting us for this. We haven't even got one player yet that has a dev trait. Actually, no, I think... Maybe our wide receiver had a dev trait, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, this guy looks great. Okay, we get a dev trait there, though. And we get one of our first linemen, which is exactly what we needed to take. They take a right end. I didn't even look at any other picks. I just kind of saw that guy looked great. Safety pick, let's see what this guy looks like. I'm sure we already looked at him, but give him one last look. I would like to take this guy, but I have a feeling like there might be better safeties on the board, and I don't feel like this guy would be well rated. Like maybe this guy, this guy has a hybrid trait, 5'9", elite agility. We'll look at taking Sydney. We'll probably take Sydney. A injury, which I like. So let's look at where Sydney is going to go. First to second, so he's probably going to go off pretty soon too. Yeah, so he's supposed to go there. We're going to look at these other picks real fast, though, because, honestly, this class has a lot of, the wide receiver talent looks amazing. I just can't believe the wide receivers on this board. There's so much good guys, and I just, if you need a wide receiver for this draft class, hey, they're here. We're going to look at this guy. I know we don't need wide receivers, but if there is a wide receiver I think would be good enough to put on the team this first year, I want to put him on. So we looked at Levy. I don't know if I looked at this guy. I think I already did, but I feel like I looked at Levy twice. I guess they both just have elite strength. Those two guys are going to be good, I think, but we're just going to take Sidney Elliott. I think this guy is a good pick. 21, 5'9", a little short, but this dude had a better combine than the other guy. And that has already a catching, a injury. And welcome to this team, Sidney Brown. Or I meant Sidney Elliott. So another pick off the board. And let's go to second pick in the second round, 30th pick. We do need to try to pick probably another lineman. Let's look at this guy. Poor traits. Yeah, we're not going to take him. I think this is kind of worth the points that you might be lucky to get one kind of guy that's going to be a huge stud. And we have a lot of second round picks, so we have a low risk. This guy looks great. And yeah, we're going to take him. We get a good right end, and yeah, I'm really happy to get that pick there. So we next pick up, they take a left end, Green Bay does. And let's see what we can do with this pick. Maybe we take a running back here, 6-foot running back, pretty decent speed. But the problem is, like, I don't think we don't need a running back for a few years. That's the thing. We do need to take another, shit, I didn't mean to do that. But we do need to take another offensive lineman just because we lost so much talent this year. And we're going to just have a bunch of rookies. I know it's not going to be a good year just to put a bunch of rookies on our offensive line, but, you know, we have to do it. F, yeah, I'm not going to take this guy just because he has some good other traits, but an F, you don't want to take that. Maybe this guy, I think maybe would be better. I'm hoping so. Has some good traits. And C to F injury, not really going to look at there. So either right now, either we need to take a corner or another, like, rusher. Defensive tackle pick maybe we would take. Rodgers. Looks actually pretty decent. We'll look at the other defensive tackle first. And kind of let's see what the other kind of picks are too. This guy actually looks pretty good too. And let's look at this kind of last one right here. Speed rusher. Maybe this guy has a crazy speed. Not really anything crazy. And if there is one more guy, we'll look at him before this. All these guys are 3rd to 4th, so they all kind of would go around the same pick. I think we probably are going to take Shaden Rodgers. 6'1", good enough. Like, had a really well combine day. And I think this guy would be good enough to have a good spot. Welcome to the team. And we kind of fill another position off the board. Going into our 4th round pick. Trying to think what we kind of need to look at. We either need to take another offensive lineman to fill in this spot for this season, or we need to take an edge rusher just because that's our biggest weaknesses right now are rushing, corners, and linemen. Yeah, we're not going to take this guy. Too many pores. Maybe one of these left tackles, but a left tackle in these picks kind of go... A lot of these picks don't look that good in my opinion. And maybe this is where we take... well, I guess this guy is elite. Eddie Red is maybe our risk type of player to take. Let's look at the centers just because centers usually... Honestly, centers are so good in this game to take. F on one thing, can't take that guy. We'll look at, I guess we'll look at all 3 of these kind of picks. Pass on these 2. 2 more centers to look at. Yeah, I'm not really loving all these center picks. We might take Red. Last guy, Jack Ross. Good player, but I think we maybe could get him later. And I just see too many Fs on this, so we're not going to take a center. And let's look at like what corners are kind of going about this type of pick. This guy, just too many Ds at this point. And maybe this guy just because he is like in the C type of range. Yeah, I'm not loving a lot of these picks. It is the 4th round too, so I get it. We'll look at this guy too, just because he does have our depth trait. Elite speed too. Ridley and our one guy, Red. I think we might take Red though, just because I liked how Red looked. And Red's young, 309 pounds, so he is tall, and I guess this guy has elite agility. We're gonna take Red. I thought the pick was decent. I guess we're going into our 6th right now. Maybe I should have taken the other guy, but Red's either going to be decent or he's going to be a bust. There's not like, oh, maybe there's a chance he's going to be incredible. I didn't really see it there. I just thought it was the pick we needed, and it was kind of just the best pick we could have got. I'm trying to get this one pick. It's not going. I always hate this. This is the only glitch that they have in this game for me, is that sometimes you click on this. I know they've had it in years past. So let's see. Maybe the problem is we kind of need to scroll past some of these players. This guy, Ridley, is still here. So he fell late. I want to take Ridley. I know maybe it was not the right thing to do, but I think we needed to take offensive. And we're just going to skip our 7th round pick. Just let the AI do it, because sometimes the AI can pick better than us. And let's see our draft recap before. So we got a really good wide receiver, 76 overall. So huge stud, and we're going to have to trade one of our guys. 86 injury, which is going to go to 90 with a +4. So honestly, this guy, really happy to have. Stud of a player. 83 is weird to see on a wide receiver. This guy, definitely a pick I knew was going to be good, and we're going to make this guy, what's his speed? 80 speed. We're going to make him a left end just because I think Isaiah Simmons, we might kind of let him go off again this season, being that left end guy, letting him rush a lot. So let's see what he goes up to 76 now, and this guy's going to be a huge left end rusher for us. I'm happy to have this guy on our team. 24th already best, and hey, let's let him cook. Tight end pick, 73 overall. Good enough injury, and honestly, 86 speed, pretty good. Happy to have him, and I think he could go up in dev rate. 75 overall corner, so honestly, we picked good players, just didn't have dev traits. 97 injury. 95 speed, good traits, and honestly, I'm happy to have this guy. I think this was a great pick. Next pick, left tackle, Peter McConnell. Low overall, good enough injury rate. 42nd best already in the league, and maybe we might switch this guy to an inside lineman just so he kind of doesn't suffer this year. But the safety pick, Sidney Elliott, definitely a stud, and really happy I got this guy on the team. This guy is definitely the fill-in player we needed, and good enough speed. Already the 41 second best, and he is going to be a player that I think maybe could be huge. The problem is I don't really like is that I know it really doesn't matter but the power moves and finesse moves are low. I kind of like having a player that, like, having a safety that can rush really helps, and he definitely does not look like a rushing safety. Dudley Bridges, a stud of a player, definitely was one of my best pickups in the draft. This guy is already the 25th, a 75 overall, 91 strength. Definitely a huge pickup, and this guy is definitely a fill-in player and a day one starter. Shadon Rogers, our defensive tackle pick. This guy kind of was one of those picks I didn't really know about. The traits aren't there, which doesn't make me happy. But I think this guy can be good, and I think we just have to get him where he needs to be. The problem is he's not what we want him to be. 63 power moves are just horrible, but at least run stopper is there, and maybe we might focus on him being a run stopper. Like, he is, 300 pounds, 6'1", so he's a bigger type of player. But maybe he would do decent enough, and at least we have a guy in that can learn from Akeem Hicks. Right tackle, Eddie Red was a bust, and Terrence really just bust. These guys will never start probably in their career. And it looks like in the 7th round we took a middle linebacker, which we did not need, and we took a running back. Kind of honestly, in the end of our draft, we kind of just went with bust. But at least we kind of have some backups. Like these guys probably will never maybe get a start. Like I think they will because I'm sure one of our guys will get injured or something. But I thought they would be better than that. But I guess they uh, just weren't the right players to pick. But yeah, that's the end of 2022 season, and that's gonna be the end of today's video. We're next season we're looking at probably not going into the playoffs. We're probably gonna take a step back, but I'm really happy with our draft just because we did have a good draft to kind of fill in some of our backups. The only problem is we got a lot of high overall players, but no dev traits, which is a bad thing to see. But I think in the future we're going to do good. And the Arizona Cardinals, it might take a little few years for them in real life and in our rebuild, but overall, I think we got it. Well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.